think I'd see your ass in work today.
We come from tougher cloth than that.
Weren't you like ex-military or something?
Yeah.
You're a fugitive. You killed 2 cops.
I got a bone to pick for my son. If things don't go to my satisfaction, I'll flood this whole place. Find him.
I gotta figure out a way to stop this fool.
They got guns. You got a goddamn gun. They got better guns.
Thank you all for coming on. This is the Deadlock crew from the movie. I'm going to put the clip in the beginning of this show. And off we go with producer Alex Kane and everybody else. Go
Can you start in the future with actor Alexander Kane and then followed by producer? Because we all know how much I literally hate producing. I just started at 38, so I have to produce to actually get in the damn things. We could just call the deadbeats from Deadlock, and not all of us got to, kiss Kelly Kapowski like Mr. Muldoon here. I'm going to go right in on that right off the rip. So,
it was all about Kelly. Deadlock was based off Kelly Kapowski for sure. That's why you guys cast me. Like, who's that son of a big kiss?
That's where Jeff ended up working at the power plant.
Yeah, I went from the Max to the power plant. That was it.
I just shot a movie with Tyler, bro. There was a power plant. We were like, yo, this is Deadlock all over again.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting origin story. Y'all know it was supposed to actually be a nuclear power plant, right?
That's right. Yeah. Then we turned it into a dam, right? I mean,
you remember what it was originally called?
Where was the nuclear plant?
Reactor. It's called Reactor, wasn't it?
Reactor, yeah.
So
Reactor.
Yeah, so Sepher helped tinker with the script, and it was called Reactor. And so I get sent this script like, hey, by the way, I know it's Thursday night, but can we start like Monday morning? And I'm like, I mean, are you kidding? Are you kidding? And
Tyler.
Here comes
Tyler's
the
coming
lines.
on.
Hold on. We got to wait for the superstar. And it's the hero of Deadlock, Tyler Eckles.
I can't believe he cut his hair, man.
Look at
Got a jacket poster, bro. Let's go, baby.
This guy.
Yeah, man.
Motherfucking
Good
power.
Lord, shaved and everything, man. Wow.
Oh, look at him. It's like,
hey, what'd you do with Tyler?
I shot him. He's out
Tyler?
back, man. What's going on, boys?
How are you?
Hello.
I'm excellent. Oh, Muldoon.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Good to see you, my man.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I'm glad to see all you guys. This is great.
It seems like just yesterday, but it also feels like 10 lifetimes.
I know, man.
Yeah.
what was it? 5 years ago? Or 4? What was it, 21 or 20?
It's
21.
4.
Beginning of 21.
Beginning of 21.
4 years ago.
I wanna
January.
ask a very specific question, which is, I mean, I know how I met Tyler and all of that, but I want to know before we get started. I'll tell the story again. It was Reactor when it came to me, and I'm getting 9 million calls, and I was like, I looked into one power plant in Georgia, and it's a typical one of these model films where you're going to have like $8 in 2 days to shoot an action film, and it's a reverse Die Hard, which is very interesting. Bruce is going to play a villain for the first time, and I remember looking at a power plant, and I was like, hey, I'm just started producing for the first time. I'll go get this power plant. And like 10 Secret Service people and like military drives over as I get to the gate. And they're like, there's zero chance you will ever shoot one scene in this power plant. So I immediately had to pivot rather than calling them and saying we can't do it. This guy named Gator, which we all love. Y'all remember Gator? Gator messages me out of nowhere and goes, hey, I said, you need a nuclear power plant deal, Mr. Kane. I got a hydroelectric dam. And I was like, what? So I drove, I think Billy Jack might have went with me. We drove like 45 minutes away. And as y'all know, it's really the most amazing location. I want to shoot another movie there. It is like a Van Damme movie wet dream in that thing. Like
Incredible. Yep.
Is that not Death Warrant and all of those great movies? You know, like I could easily have seen Eric Roberts and Van Damme fighting there, and so some of us met there for the first time, like I met Lorenzo, I met Gator, and I met Muldoon there. I want to know how you got attached to the project, Patrick.
I got a call. That was it. And it was Danny. Oh my God. There was a producer before on board. Well, his name was Danny. Oh my God. I've known Danny for years.
He's gonna motherfuck you for forgetting his last name.
Danny, forget this guy.
Yeah.
Forgot about it.
Anyway, but you know what? I do remember because we shot February, and it was September, and we were going. It was hurry up and get ready for this movie. Jared called me and said, "Hey, don't show up model skinny. Start lifting weights. I want Mac Carr to be yoked." And I'm like, "Okay." And we start in 2 weeks. I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna make it, man. But I started lifting and stuff, and it was the next 3 weeks. Oh, it's gonna be. I remember it was always 3 weeks. We were going, and that's when it was Reactor. So how I got it was just a straight offer, but the script changed, and a bunch, and ended up being a power plant, obviously.
I like to add something.
I
want to add something if you don't mind. Finish. So I know we said we don't talk about people, but I got a call from someone that we know that we're discussing, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna make an announcement. Bruce Willis is doing a movie." I said, "What do you mean we're making an announcement? Like I got the rights to this project. What do you mean we're making an announcement?"
Oh man,
you have the rights.
I have the rights. I'm like, what?
Sepher, those movies, they kind of operate backwards. They're like, hey, the camera's running. Now we're going to talk about what you're getting paid. Yeah. So they kind of built
right.
So that's what happened.
That's what happened.
Well, it's better than sitting home waiting for the phone to ring to not get a fucking message saying that your fucking movie's going without knowing that I have the rights or not. At the end of the day, it's better than sitting home fucking playing with your asshole doing nothing.
That's very
kicking into Iron Maiden. But my buddies, you guys know David and Chelsea up there in Connecticut, and they were like, I go, yeah, I'm going down to Georgia to do this movie. They're like, what? That movie's shooting here in Connecticut next week.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah. So I think a lot of people were involved in the conversation.
You have no idea.
Changed producers and everything, but I didn't know it was you, Stephen. You had the rights.
Yeah. So a year before it happened, this person reached out to me and said,
"Choose your words very carefully."
This person reached out to me and said, "Yeah, I want to do this, man. Come on, I said, "Okay, cool." So I paid him some money and I got the rights and I started working on the script. And I was working on different projects, but I was definitely doing rewrites on that. And all of a sudden I get a call. "Hey, we're going to make an announcement tomorrow." I'm like, "What do you mean we're making an announcement tomorrow?" I said, "What are you talking about, man? We're making an announcement." So that's kind of, yeah.
How many times have we seen that with the said individual, though? And these types of movies, they announce,
all the time.
And then while you're making it, they announce another movie that while they're telling you you're not going to shoot the next one because it's not going to happen, and it comes out while you're shooting that the next movie they just told you you're doing is being shot in Canada, and they just told you to go ahead and prep for it. And then, I kind of, though, listen, let's talk. The positive is I actually find some magic in that last minute, like, hey, you got to deal with Lorenzo and teach him a Southern accent by tomorrow and put this mustache on him. And Brandon Cox has got to work with a camera team he's never met before. And he's got to use Z-cams. And he's got to hang off the side of a balcony. And we're going to use one stunt guy to do 28 parts that's half the size of Patrick.
There is the magic to it.
Bobby.
Hey, if you weren't paying attention, you're paying attention then. Because
can we reference that Quentin Tarantino said this is his favorite shitty Bruce Willis movie? And I'm paraphrasing. Right. But he did say that he enjoyed this one.
Alex,
that
let me
production
correct
level
you,
was-
because if Mike Donovan was on this fucking thing, he'd fucking shit all over it right now. Because he's
listen.
not the accurate statement. Quentin did not say it. Go back to listen to exactly what he said. But Patrick
No, wait,
said
Lorenzo,
that you were really good.
Lorenzo, wait.
He did say
Patrick said that you were really good. Tarantino said you were really good.
He did.
No, he said that out of the latter, Bruce, because listen, guys, I listened to it 4 million times.
I am too. I'm with you. I wanted to say it was great. I'm like, he's seen the fucking mustache. I'm happy. But Mike, I'm just saying, if Mike Donovan was here,
but if Mike Donovan was here, I'd have to be on mute because I would have already been fact checked 13 times just from where I started.
Can I tell you a story about the Tarantino thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in Joshua Tree, and like a last minute, I'm not a Joshua Tree type of person, whatever that is. But I'm at Joshua Tree, and with a big group of people, and everybody's eating chocolate mushrooms, right?
Of course they are.
Also not my thing, but when in Rome, I go, all right. So I can't believe I'm doing this on live podcast. I take a cube, and my phone, like a half hour, I feel a little fuzzy, but I'm not eating tons of it, right? I took a cube, right? And my phone starts blowing up saying, Tarantino's talking about Deadlock and is mentioning you. And I'm like, not trusting, because I think that I'm
That's
but
awesome.
he did say, he says, out of the latter Bruce Willis movies, they were all talking about, who's the guy that wrote Pulp Fiction?
Roger Avery, I believe it was.
And what he loved
Quentin
about
Roger
it was
Avery.
it was the reverse of
Yeah, the Die Hard. Yeah.
of Die Hard. Yeah. So he likes seeing Bruce in the bad part of Die Hard, and it really was the location, and how Brian B. Cox, you shot that, dude, Brandon Cox, you shot that.
That's fine. You can call me.
Dude, sorry, dude, it's been a minute.
You can call me B. Cox.
I've had a lot of
everybody calls
mushrooms since then. Anyway, so dude, it was shot beautifully. The drone shots and everything, it looked like a more expensive movie,
Well, you do get this a lot, and I don't mean to interrupt if you were going to go, because I just want to say this, and then I think you should talk about how you and Tyler, how you did that, and Tyler, I know you learned a shit ton on that.
Oh, yeah.
And I will tell you that I get a lot of people laugh at our movies like that we did early on, but I always say I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot and I improved, my skill set, got better. And we gave our damn heart and soul to that movie. And I mean, Sepher came to me on day 2 and we're like, this feels like a real movie, dude. Because what Tarantino was talking about, and this is where I'm going to pitch it off to Cox, is whether whether it was a little hokey or whether it was, typically his style, it was the production value that we gave it, and our effort was A+. We gave it
100%. Everybody
10 fucking days.
Yeah, I mean, it was 10 days, right?
And you were there for
10 and a
all
half,
of it.
10
You
and a half.
were told on day 1, Lorenzo, for a day
We'll
play.
get into the most expensive day player to ever exist. But I'll tell you one thing: anybody who wants to shit on these movies and talk all this shit, it sucks what happened with Bruce. I worked with him a few more times after that.
Such a great
We
guy.
made fucking movies with Bruce Willis, bro.
Absolutely.
Movies with Bruce Willis. Who cares how it was done, how it came out, who was doing what, and how many days we had? We have a fucking conversation, a reunion about it right now with all our friends that we made throughout the years. That's what's positive about it. Fuck all the
How am I supposed to regret or look down? How am I supposed to regret or look down on this group of guys? The bond that we have, all of our careers, what it did for them. Billy Jack, was that eye patch on the other eye when we started?
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I was about to say, I just seen you a few months ago. You didn't have a fucking thing wrong with you.
That's right.
This is some bullshit me and Alex are talking about doing in any comedy shit that we do.
Just moving. It's very, what is it? Captain Ron, remember with his eye. I want to talk specifically about that with you, how you ended up shooting that so beautifully. Like, just admit this part right here. How did you come into that, having done it as long as you have? And I want you to brag on us a little bit if you can. Did we renew a sense of like, I'm going to give a shit now? I mean, I know you still gave a shit, but you'd correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of talked to me at that time about being a little burnt out with being rushed, given no time, given no resources, and told to like deliver a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, because of I won't say him, Steven, two other partner producers that I worked with Bruce. I was there when I watched that business model go from 20 days to 19 days to 15, 13, and then eventually 10, I didn't, yeah, I was burned out, but you were given what you were given. And then the other said producer that I had done a job with him previously and in 20, and then COVID happened. And then How I Met You, Alex, was on, I believe it was on Ed's movie, the smaller movie, the other
American
Bruce
Siege.
Yeah,
American
you met me and
Siege, yeah.
Tyler in 2 days
That's
on that.
exactly. And I just I was down there because I was doing something in Atlanta and met Billy Jack. And so from that's how I met you guys. But we really got to work together because I wasn't the cinematographer on that movie.
Right.
I just came and helped out. But then I really got to, work with you guys on Deadlock. And I didn't approach it in any different way. I mean, look, say what you want, and people can shit on our movies and whatever. I know this, and Tyler knows this. You take any big time 50-day, 60-day DP, and you throw them in the woods with what we do, they would freak out. They would not be able to do this. And they would freak out because they'd lose their sense of control. They would not be able to deal with the amount of speed you have to work, and just losing all of everything that they're comforted with. They'd lose their mind. So I think, it was really the first time I got to work with Tyler. He was my other operator. But I just told him, and just look, man, this is how much time we have. We didn't really, like Bruce, we had in that one central control room, I think it was he was mostly in there. And then when he arrives, and then at his house, but everything was through how we did it was because it was all one location. And that's what saved us. Had we had a location across town and across, we wouldn't have been able to do that movie. But the fact that we were able to like stay together, and we all stayed at the same place, and we knew what we were making, and we just dug in, and I thought Pat did a great job. Everybody worked their butts off, and I had a blast doing it, man.
When I
had
saw
a blast,
Patrick
man.
actually do his own stunts, I was like, "That's my boy right there. That's the kind of actor I want to be right there."
It was.
Can I,
you know what though? It was, if we didn't have this group, where everybody been like, oh, it's just but I wasn't thinking that way. I was thinking one thing before I ever got there. I'm fucking gonna work with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think all of us, because of that, legend, and I think it made everybody show up because but anyway, everybody was of the same mindset of let's take what we got and do the best that we can. And because everybody on here and then some, even the people that are not on here, like I think it was like a cool in 10 days. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to elaborate on that because, and to your point, what's crazy about that is even down to the nuance. Everybody was in the exact right position where they were at in their career emotionally. I was at the perfect kind of naive phase and super stoked on getting to operate a whole movie, and that vigor, you know what I mean? Just for me personally, I think I was able to add the maximum amount I could to the film. And I think everybody was in that.
Childlike wonder, man. You were like, kill this. And I remember specifically after American Siege, you came to me. And I'm committed to keeping this a very optimistic and upbeat, fun thing. But you came to me about other DPs, and you said, this Cox guy was only here one day, but he's the goods, bro. We got to work with him. And Brandon, at that time, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be a little industry secret because Nicolas Cage also quoted verbatim what you said about very few DPs can grab a camera and go with very little resources and make some. But you were, industry secret, the Bruce will do a movie, but Cox has to come shoot his day's guy.
Yeah.
No matter
That
who
was-
the DP was, you kind of shot his stuff, right, for like a few movies.
Yeah. Well, it was just to give, Tyler will give you, it was just to give Bruce sort of that comfort zone, because obviously, and to his credit, man, and to the movie's credit, out of all these movies, he did a really great performance in this movie. It was one of the best. I've worked with him a few times.
What
It was
about the
did.
Chris Cleveland scene, guys, where he switched and became John McClane for like 2 minutes?
Yeah, just switched on. I'll never forget that in my whole life, dude. Of just like we were, me and Brandon were like, all handheld, just like trying to find it, and then it's like the whole room just went boom, and like we locked in like slow motion, like holy shit, like
we just didn't move, we just let it go.
Christopher Cleveland?
I was gonna say, let's give a shout out to a few people. Like we all we miss you, Mike. We worked with Mike. Patrick, I don't know if you know this or not. Everyone else does, but I'm sure you haven't kept up with us. But I've seen you doing massive things. We've done 16 movies together since Deadlock. I think maybe 15. Deadlock.
Thanks for the job, Alex. Thanks for the call, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know how little control.
Fucking Lorenzo keeps getting
see
calls.
you guys later. 16 movies, not one phone call.
We have, you know how much control I have, as much control over those movies as I do over my 6 children.
I'm joking a little bit.
So I have as little control over that as I do over my impulse to keep talking over everyone on this side. So Mike Donovan was amazing in that, and I think that's where I really saw him come to it and start producing. One of my 6 is going to come in and get a little attention, I think. And so then, that's where we met Ava, and that's where a lot of us got. And Chris Cleveland, what a home run he hit in that. What a home run he hit. And
what a scene, man.
Man. And he told me, he was like, my whole career, like that's one of those moments you live for that I'll never forget. And there's so many MVPs that come along on these little movies that you must have that saved the day. Like the Gator. Like the Gator came along, and Billy Jack comes along. What's that?
There's a dog there.
Yeah, I suddenly have
wait.
One of my Labradoodles.
Talking about doing your own stunts, man.
This is Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy, what's up? Nice. Love the dogs.
I thought Billy Jack was gonna die when he would not jump out of the way of that car. He was determined to stand there to the very last second.
At the guard gate?
Yeah, he literally had to jerk Billy Jack into the thing. He was like, I'm gonna take him head on, brother.
They didn't jerk me out of the way, but I do remember this. I remember thinking that I needed to wait until the last second. And I forgot there's a thing called editing in movies, man. He would have jumped 5 seconds before he got there.
I saw 6 producers' assholes get about that tight when that truck was. And you know what? By the way, no one also told the guys in the cars, maybe don't drive 100. That was a bunch of real rednecks, and no one took their foot off the gas.
Do you guys know, man, that when they set that scene up for me, Jared was describing the scene, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to stand, and what's going to happen, kind of. Just as I think you guys were setting up cameras and stuff like that while he's talking to me, and I take him aside and I say, man, I just FYI, if this was real, your fucking movie ends right here. And he got panicky, man, and like, what do you mean? I said, bro, I ain't diving into the gate house. I'm shooting everybody coming through the fucking gate. Everybody dies right here. He panicked, man. He thought I was for real, but just wanted him to know this is not.
Let's talk about that for a second. So the scene, the Gator, right? He's badly chasing Muldoon's character, and he's going after him. And he fucking finds him, and then he says, fuck that, I'm going to put my machine gun down. I'm going to now box him.
What a genius idea.
Was this the one up in the rafters?
The one up in the rafters. Yeah, so I'm going to box him because I'm fucking, I'm going to box him. And then he finds him again. He puts his gun down again. And then he
Later
gets
is,
shot in the head. Listen, that
So,
to me
Sepher-
is brilliant
Sepher,
screenplay.
Is this your opinion, or are you literally reading the reviews on IMDb? Because I bet I read that 13 times. Like, what is this guy putting his gun down for?
He really wanted to box that car, man.
You should intercut this with the fucking movie, bro. Like,
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah, put the scene. Put
Listen,
the scenes up there.
this thing right here, I want to say this because I have very few fears in my life. Obviously, I have 6 kids, and I quit a really great career to try to become an actor at 37 years old. So I have no fear. So, but some of y'all heights terrify me. You guys were literally up like 10 stories in the air doing fist fights, and there was warthogs, A-10 warthogs flying over. There was
that's right.
So I'll tell you the sketchiest. So up on the main tower, I never felt that insecure. But dude, the place that Sick Rick was sniping, that shit was like rusted out, fucking like you could just see where you like.
50 foot
high,
drop
man.
straight
It was
to the
really
concrete.
high. That was really high up in the air. That was scary.
That part I did
remember that.
not like. The tower was safe though.
I had a scene where I was supposed to be on there, and I was supposed to be up, and then Muldoon's character is supposed to shoot up, and I got my fucking binoculars. And it's funny because nobody talked about this at the time. I was scared shitless. I'm like, dude, what wrong? I'm looking at Cox, really, just hoping his silence is like this confidence. He knows what he's doing. And I'm standing there, and we get to the edge, and I got to tell you something that happened, guys. This is something that's very interesting that happened to me. I got scared. I was supposed to have both hands on the binoculars. I couldn't do it. I put one hand on the fucking rail and one hand on the binoculars. After that, I went skiing when I got back to LA, and I got on the fucking lift, and I got so nervous from the heights, and I realized, oh my God, I got an issue after that fucking scene. So you, Tyler, felt that. Everybody fucking felt that. Nobody talked about it.
It was up there, man. I remember that, Tyler. I remember when we went up there, we put the camera up there. I was like, my God, if we fall, this is not going to be fun.
Yeah, dude.
It was really high. It was
Give
super
a shout
high.
out to Bobby Laning, because that dude is fearless. Bobby
dude.
was like,
I was just going to say, Bobby, talking about the heights, right? I felt secure up there in the water tower because the gates, you could tell once we got up there, there was not rusted out sections. You know, it felt well made. But Bobby's like, remember when Matt Carr is supposed to go and like go down the
There's a couple of shots.
I was trying to go over the thing, and Bobby's like, it's no problem. I'm going to put you in a harness. And I'm like, it's really no problem because we're going to put you in a harness.
That's right.
You're going to put on a bad wig. And hats off to Bobby because he did such a good job. And
hey, listen, is that the worst wig in the industry that's ever been put on somebody? It's pretty close. It looked like a tarantula landed on his head. And honestly, on that black rope, when he was coming down, I was like, there is a tarantula chasing him down the rope. And but Bobby has come through on so many films for us. Bobby's just like, you want me to do? Jump off there and die? No problem, I'll do it. He's such a great stuntman and a great actor and a good dude, and you can count on him for anything. But honestly, like most of our crew, what we didn't say was Sick Rick wasn't afraid of falling because he's a vampire, and so he's immortal. So if he lands on the ground, nothing can happen to him anyway. So
vampire, yep.
Didn't that wig that Bobby wore come from the same company that made Lorenzo's mustache?
It
was Lorenzo's mustache. In my desk in LA, in my LA office, I got the fucking frame.
Let me see if I can guess it. Officer, what is it? Anybody?
That's so.
The ending should have been like him tearing the mustache off, and it's like he's the villain, you know?
That's right.
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't you damn kids.
What was that? What was that line we practiced, Lorenzo, 30 times? You said, you something's for shit, Hoss. What was it?
Oh, fuck.
I'm trying to.
Shit, Hoss.
I'm going back to IMDb to make sure we don't forget anybody because we had so many unsung heroes, you know.
Your security systems for shit,
Oh,
Hoss.
I can go through them. I mean, we got Benji and Bernie and Sick Rick, and back then we still had, I think Claire was with us, and we had
Yeah.
How about
Yeah,
Kelly
Matt-
Reader, man?
Kelly,
Matt
yeah.
Martin.
Kelly Reader's
Yeah.
scene was bad.
Matthew came on. Martin.
Yeah,
I'll
oh,
bet you $1
Matthew
million
Martin
that
was
I
great.
ain't got that he
fantastic.
won't
By
answer.
the way, we haven't even talked about the other location in the actual dam. That was sick.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. The underground was amazing. I mean,
I
that
mean-
whole thing was great. Like the control room when we were actually, remember when we were on the dam, Tyler, when we
Yeah.
were
Oh
filming
my
Patrick
God.
hanging, working, like
Yep.
welding. Patrick was welding.
Oh yeah,
and then-
Patrick
and-
did
and-
sling
scenes,
down
yeah.
there, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
And
felt
then-
like a
You're
real
there.
Bruce Willis location to me. Like I was waiting,
Yeah.
I was waiting for Jeremy Irons to come walking in with a British accent. You know, like it was such a great one. And there's a part of you that goes, man, I wish we could use this again. And then you realize that you can because essentially nobody's watched it, and so you're like, oh, okay, that would be great. But you know, let's talk about something that when Bruce Willis walks on a set, talk about star power. It is every bit as prevalent as it always has been. You get crowds of tons of people to show up, and they're like, oh, that's just Bruce Willis. He's doing a bunch of. They're all there to see him. They're all there to see him, man. You know, we
And
can
we're
kid
all
ourselves.
there. We're all there. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm there like the night before my Bruce scenes, and I'm losing sleep. You know what I mean? For
How
real.
many people have y'all had say like, "Oh, Bruce Willis, he's washed up," or "I don't even care to meet him"? And the minute they get a chat, Mr. Willis said, "Yeah, you're my favorite. I love you." And so that was such a strange time because you know we were in the middle of what he was going through, and Brandon had a very close relationship to him, and the rest of us were just getting to know him. I had done 2 films with him already. But you know, his team is amazing. I mean, Stephen Eads, all those
Stephen
guys
Eads, yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah.
And so I mean, we all love Eric, and we have lots. Look, there's Deadlock. That's actually it.
And Mesner, Johnny Mez.
Man,
yeah.
the Mesner.
Johnny Mesner.
Yes, that
And-
voice,
And
man.
I'll tell you this, what was really cool, and I talked to, you know, and I'm sure you guys saw Brandon when with everybody, regardless of the struggles that Bruce had, he was present. So he
100%.
was, so it was, you know, and you know, we had to go through the issues that we had to go through technically. However, aside from that, if you didn't show up, you would have been messed up. Like Chris Cleveland showed up, you know, Kelly showed up, everybody
Douglas,
showed
all
up
of them.
because he was
Everybody.
he was present.
Right.
And what was powerful and also touching in a way was that, you know, because Bruce was not firing on all 12 with the obstacle there, there's the love of acting that you saw behind the eyes and the
Oh yeah.
of being in that moment
Yeah.
with you. And if you were not fully prepared, we were all, man, oh man. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
didn't come to play, he would have made you look like an asshole. You know why? Because he was present. And
Yeah.
and he showed up, you know.
Well, and we were
was
all
not- he
observing
was-
the whole
my point
process.
is Bruce
Yeah.
was not phoning it in. You guys
the,
No,
know.
the
no.
greatness was still there. It's
Yeah.
I look at it. Would we all agree it was kind of like a cloudy day? The greatness of the sun, which is Bruce Willis, is still there, and every now and then it was just peeking through the clouds. So you had to be like ready because when he became Bruce Willis, you were acting with John McClane in that minute. You know.
Yeah.
You
like-
bet. You bet.
Well, that and being on set was where it seemed, you know, we observed his whole day, you know what I mean? Lunchtime coming in, but like, you know, once everybody was in behind the cameras in their stations and he walked in, it seemed like that was like, you know, the sharpest he was like, you know, when it was time for him to do his thing. And like, that was just cool to see of like, it could be a bit chaotic, but as soon as we all locked in, like he would appear and like do his thing. And you just, you know,
Yeah.
to Alex's point, you just had to be ready.
By the way, he is a funny son of a bitch.
Oh my God.
That
yeah,
dude
yeah.
has the quips. And, you know, that thing that he said
Flips.
when he turned to Bernie
Dude.
and he goes, Alec Baldwin didn't brush his fucking teeth.
No, hold on. he just says, "Who's not brushing their fucking teeth around here?" And we all are like, "What?" And he pulls a toothbrush out of his pocket and points it at Bernie and says, "Alec Baldwin brushes his teeth."
Bernie,
where did he get the toothbrush, man? Where did
no
he get
one
the
that gets the
toothbrush?
joke because nobody watches will understand, but our gaffer looks exactly like Alec Baldwin in a lot of ways.
Like a heavy
Has
Alec
has
Baldwin.
a little bit of the rage too, Bernie, if you're watching. But there is one little piece of politics for my side of this I'd like to say, and that is that I never saw Bruce's team or anyone involved mistreat Bruce. He was treated like a king.
Never.
He was treated like
Absolutely.
a king. Those people love him.
Oh,
Bruce treated
100%.
and Bruce treated like people will say, "Oh, y'all exploited him." I go, "Well, I'll put it to you like this. Do you feel like he's better off at home not working, staring out the ocean, doing nothing? Or do you think being out, being stimulated, working amongst hundreds of thousands, even millions of fans in small towns across the country, essentially doing a farewell tour of people that love him and adore him, and he's getting to
He
eat the
loved
finest
it.
restaurant,
He was
and
with his entourage.
and
Like
he's
he was with
playing
people
golf
that- he was with people who he loved.
yes, and they loved him back.
They equally respected him. So
Yes, it was great.
I don't know if you guys remember this.
He was in heaven.
But they used my RV trailer for his break area. And
Oh yeah, that's right.
all the controls on my RV are on my phone. So I got to stay in the trailer with those guys when they were on break. And it was just flipping awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. It's just like you said, Alex. I wondered similar things, what are they riding this guy, man, or what? And that's not. They're all very dear friends. In fact, I remember on the third Bruce movie I did was Gasoline Alley, and somebody posted on one of my posts on social media, was that all you ever do is Bruce Willis movies, and before I could even respond, another one of my friends said, "You dumbass. Why do you think John Wayne's movies had several of the same people?" It's because they all like each other, man.
Yeah, they just want to work with people they love.
That's
Call Adam Sandler, tell him to stop working with the same guys all the time.
Not going to happen, man. People work with who they like.
Listen, we're 15, 16 movies in together, Patrick, and I mean no turnover. Almost exact same crew from Deadlock has now done $130 million worth of movies together over the last 4 or 5 years. And I don't care if we get to do the Avengers. I don't want to work with anybody different. I love my crew. I love my people.
Gee, how good for you, Alex. And good, man. I feel
Brought to you by
what did I do wrong, man? What did
cinema,
I do
no,
wrong?
Workhorse Cinema.
I show up late? What the fuck did I do wrong?
Well, look, and nobody.
I knew my lines because we were writing them as we went.
Dude, Patrick, I remember watching you underneath the old coal-fired power plant on the bottom floor, on the ground floor, when Ava was just kind of thrown in there, and she was struggling with some lines, and like you said, they were changing. Bro, you were so patient and so awesome. That's my little ass.
She did a great job as well. Ava did as well.
Yeah, she did.
Ava was great.
Girl got
Billy
fired.
Jack, you were great. Was
girl
that your
got fired.
really, was that your first what the guard scene when I pull up in the morning?
Oh yeah, I remember that, man. I stepped on your lines and you very nicely said, "Fuck, that was normal for me to just walk over people's talking."
The fun thing about it, like Alex said at the beginning, there was something special to this because I remember the table read. We had some challenges. I remember we sat at the table read and
remember Bruce's part.
Remember Bruce kills 2 cops at the beginning of the movie?
Right.
And in the third act, he comes back to visit his son who's in jail.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, don't you think that they would pick him up?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people at the table were like, no one will know. We're like, everyone's going to know. And I looked at B. Cox and we're like, so there was a live nature to every scene because all of us contributed.
Yes.
Stephen, all of us contributed to our scenes because we were able to, because
Yes.
Well, these
Yes.
movies are like an exercise in live movie making improv. Like you cannot necessarily ride the script as it's written. I mean, location. You're given, like, I'm not joking, $8 in 3 days to do this, and you don't have the ability to tell a PA that's a bad idea, because he might have a brilliant idea that saves you time, saves you money, makes the movie better. Yeah.
That's what we were doing. We were actually asking. Tyler, you were in these conversations. I'm like, what the fuck do I say?
Patrick, the scene that you and I had, I remember when the shootout, and then B. Cox decided to save the scene, and I thanked him in his own podcast on that. You and I came up, and you and I went like huddled, and we were talking about like, what's like, this doesn't make sense. How do we do it? And very quickly, you said something, I said something, you said something, I said, and then I did the scene. It was the funniest fucking scene. I didn't think it was going to be a comedy, but it was. It was very comedic.
Yeah. But listen, that scene is case in point. I think you had like a huge monologue, and it was, but.
So the question is, if you're rewriting and improv on the fly, why didn't you keep your damn gun, Gator? Why did you put the gun down?
He just wanted to show off his guns. I mean, that's what he was. Yeah,
he wanted to show off his real guns. You
remember? I think.
Oh man, we gotta make a fight.
I always watch Jared's movies and looked for Jared's cameo. In this one, if you remember, Marsden shot him.
Oh yeah,
Marsden shot him. And this movie's special for me because this was Brittany, my wife's real first job as a crafty and then a PA, and she ends up being the second. And Brittany is now the most, for me, and no offense to y'all, but she's the most important person for me on set, and how she keeps it running. And I mean, she's kind of become the set mom. Brandon Cox gets his cereal through her and things of that nature.
What little cereal boxes.
Shout out, Brittany.
And we all have our
Brittany all the way.
Set. And Brittany, and I want to segue here because it's important. We talk about the man of the hour. Brittany comes to me and she goes, "There's this actor here. He's funny as hell, and he's one of us, and you got to meet him." And I was like, okay. And damn if it wasn't Lorenzo. And she couldn't have been more spot on about somebody that became a cast favorite, a crew favorite, an industry favorite.
Absolutely, man.
This is the most lovable guy to sometimes have such a dickish looking face like he does right now. While I'm complimenting him. Can't even get a reaction out of the guy, on camera or off.
He's hitting you with that blue steel.
Listen, that was I appreciate that, Alex. And you're it's pretty much ditto, bro. You're the most lovable person on set. You're the man of the hour as well, man. You got a lot of those traits, and love your family. You guys are family. We became family on this one movie, and we've done so much together since.
Better say you love Mike. You better say it right now.
No, I was gonna go right to Mike right now. There would be no dough if there was no reactor that turned into Deadlock.
There'd be no Mike and Ava if there wasn't Deadlock.
I'm saying, Bo was in Mike and Ava, bro.
My wife,
baby, bro.
My wife, Ava.
You kissed
Mike swiped my wife.
You kissed his wife.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yep.
There was no love thing in that movie.
But he wasn't with her then. He wasn't with her then.
Do you know? Oh, come on. He was.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But you know what? Two quick things. Do y'all remember who married him though? Friar Tuck himself, Terry Short with the Friar Tuck and the priest shirt on.
Yeah,
Terry married him.
Yep.
Was that in the movie? That was in the movie at the end, right? That was
it's at the end, yeah.
That was in the fucking. That was in the little lobby. They staged it as the wedding.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I forgot that.
I don't want to jump off.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump off of us praising Lorenzo too much because I'm not kidding. Your week there was one of the most inspiring weeks for how you took it. I mean, every day.
2 weeks, bro.
Yeah. And it was like you're being pushed another day. You got there on day one, and you're being pushed another day, and then pushed another day. How a guy got pushed to the very last day, damn near the last scene. But they started going like, we got to write this guy more of the movie because everybody loves him. And that pivots to the point, though, of that might be the best lodging I have ever stayed.
Summer camp, dude. It was summer camp.
It was great. That place was great.
I remember my room being very crowded in the evenings, man, for some reason.
Oh yeah. Well, me and Steve were fucking. We were together in the room. We had like.
I know a lot. I know a lot about Lorenzo now. I really do.
I mean, has anybody else besides on a big movie had like that for that low budget of a situation? Like we stayed
beautiful, man.
at a lakeside resort. The food was on point. The nights were fire. The camaraderie was off the charts, and Bruce stayed right there with us. He was right there with us all the time.
Golf course, man.
I know.
Yeah.
We had a little bar there.
Well,
Dude,
that
I was.
Listen
to this.
Conyers? Is that what that was?
No, it was in it was in my favorite.
Cordell.
It was in Cordell, and then everybody from there goes Cordell, and it's in Cordell. But here's a terrible side story. They tore that whole place to the ground.
No.
Are you serious?
So apparently the whole buildings were falling apart and were built with like 1x4s, and that we were in very much danger of it all collapsing while we were there.
Wow.
There was fractures in all of the floors and the foundations, and they were holding
that's
on
a shame. That place was great, man.
That being said,
oh, go ahead, Ty.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that being said, there's something about that whole experience going back to what we were talking about of like this kind of team that was formed, like the fact that we, work was awesome, but when we were off work, it just didn't end. You didn't go back to like the hotel. Like we all went to the same freaking place in the middle of nowhere, this beautiful setting. And it was
there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Summer camp. Write the scenes, rewrite the dialogue for the next day.
Yeah.
Well, the great thing about
wasn't there like cast
firings
and stuff?
Yeah, the girl that Ava replaced was a girl that got fired. I remember she had like one.
Ava was not even acting.
Yeah, Ava
she was in the office. She was in the office. She was just working.
I just remember running across that hotel, rehearsing people with new dialogue.
Yeah,
B. Cox was helping me rewrite this shit.
Alex, back to your point, how me and Brittany bonded was when I was sitting around fucking just like, what am I going to do? Number one, let me just be honest. I'm sitting around. I was on a weekly, so it didn't fucking matter. I was getting paid. But I was sitting around. I'm like, I seen the garbage overflowing, and I can't stand it.
You took out the trash.
This shit behind me right now is crazy because I'm in fucking moving. I'm in moving mode right now. I started cleaning the fucking garbage because the PAs were fucking off doing other fucking work. And Mike's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't care. I'm an actor on this. I'm fucking cleaning up the garbage. I don't give a fucking MP.
That's right. And you said this fucking line.
That's how you bond, bro.
You said this one fucking line that Brittany repeats to this day. You were there so long that last day you were almost, if you remember, you were almost euphoric. You were almost like you'd been there so long, it was like cabin fever. And you said, I could have bought a fucking house here. Yeah. And then, I mean,
I can live over there.
Now you've brought that accent and been with us on like God knows how many movies. And I'm going to make an announcement on this film that when we wrap this cool, awesome thing me and Tyler can't tell you about that me, him, and Billy Jack are doing. I'd love to, but it's insane right now. We're about to start. We're going to announce it in like 2 weeks. It's followed up on April the 2nd by a horror movie. And it has a great part in it that's going to start the movie with like a 16-minute oneer where this character is going to rant and rave while driving around a movie studio when he hires a new kid in a horror. And we want you to play that part.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
We want you to play it.
All right, I'm in, bro. I mean, me and T just did something fucking epic together.
Now,
bro.
it doesn't pay anything.
When the fuck did I make money with you guys?
And it's 16 minutes of dialogue.
I can't even get
Lorenzo.
$1 for this fucking podcast.
You got to talk for 16 minutes straight. It's a oneer.
You got to do it for the, you need the resume.
For the art. Just for the art.
It'll be your whole acting reel.
It's great, and it's a paid part, obviously a big part in a regular thing. But it's not about that. It's about this. It's just that you embody this character, and I know that if anybody can improv for 16 minutes and be entertaining, it's going to be you, brother. So I mean, I want you to do this.
Well, Tyler saw it, bro. We did it.
So Patrick, you and I are completely like discarded here. That's fine.
Yesterday's mashed potatoes.
I got a line I've been cooking. I got a line I've been
USC.
cooking for both of y'all. The phone works both
Both of
ways.
yous.
The two of yous.
Hey man,
Yeah.
all
There's
right.
lots of things coming down the pipe, boys.
Careful, because I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be hot.
If you want this podcast to come
Static.
out, there better be a
I'm gonna
fucking
be
part.
like, films in production. What up, Alex?
Patrick, I
Well,
saw you.
Sapir,
I saw
He
you.
wanted me to
producing-
read for a fucking part on his movie. Patrick, would
Who
you
did?
make me read for your movie? I
Yeah.
would make you read for my movie. I know that you can act. I can know whoever the fuck can act. And he wanted me to read for a fucking movie. I said, nah.
Who's he? Who's he?
You. You
What
wanted me to
movie?
read. A fucking
He
Hey,
took
wait
such
a minute.
offense.
Wait a minute.
He took. I was trying to get him in front of the director. It wasn't just my
I
call.
play the
right?
opposite
Wait,
Tommy Lee
not
Jones,
me.
and I
You're
didn't
talking
have
about
to
Steven,
fucking
right?
read.
I want Sepher. I got.
Alex, I played opposite Tommy Lee Jones. I didn't have to read for the fucking role. Five
Are you talking
fucking
to me?
pages, baby.
Steven
No,
Sepher.
talking about the
we're
comeback
coming,
trail?
We're coming for you. We're
no,
coming for
no,
you.
no. A movie
Wow.
that we just did. I
That's
wasn't-
okay. That's okay. Listen,
Wait.
this
Riff
business.
Raff, you're telling me that I asked you to read for Riff Raff?
No.
Sapir.
Oh,
He
You.
busted
I know
Sepher.
you was a part of Comeback Trail. My boy's Jeff Walner. He's a part of
Hey,
that too.
hey.
no. I'm not a part of Comeback Trail. I
Patrick.
am Comeback Trail.
So,
So,
hey, congratulations. It just came out.
We lost our money. That's why you see 40 EPs, because we're like,
Ah.
5 fighters. You bring us money, you're EPs. But I actually produced the movie with Hibbler.
I saw it before it was out. I had like a sizzle
Yeah.
that I was trying to get.
And that was no picnic. But anyway, please see it. Everybody who's watching, it's Comeback Trail.
What's it?
We have,
Comeback
we
Trail?
have been
Okay.
seeing Patrick, we've been seeing your name attached to some very big, sexy things. And I mean, I keep looking at that Apple Watch and I ain't seeing no messages and no
Yeah,
phone.
bro. I wouldn't mind reading for your bigger projects, bro. But I'm not gonna go read for a $300,000 movie, bro. It's just like come on, it's a smack in the face, bro. That's just.
Dude,
but
are
I'll
you
go read
telling
for
me
you.
that I never asked you to read for shit?
Oh, Steve did.
All right, so he's
anything
talking
that I
smack.
have,
First
I
of
have
all,
the parts.
First of all, it wasn't a
have
300,000. It was a
Lorenzo,
lot
you
more
can-
than that. But that
joking.
said,
Read
but that said-
IMDb. It's 17
but
million.
that said,
We're gonna start
uh,
pimping each other for work.
but
What
that
are we-
said, but that. All
What are
right,
we
fucking
doing
hell,
next, guys?
And
Yeah,
I went
it's
to the
fine.
fucking premiere for him to support him at the film festival.
There we go.
And did you like the movie?
I did. Now you did a good job. And Jeremy was great. It was the role. of-
Jeremy Luke was it was either, listen, sometimes it's just the way it is. The director wanted somebody to come in and it wasn't my call. I couldn't tell the director, hire this guy. He wanted to fucking see you.
I'm joking. I'm busting your balls. You think
Why the fuck not?
A bust of the
Call
balls.
yourself a
Balls.
producer?
If you're gonna bust anybody's balls,
Director.
bust Alex,
the director.
Alex fucking Kane here, who's casting 17 movies, and my phone never rings. So there you go.
Well, I got a no West Coast guy policy. We're very tight knit over here on the East Coast.
Wow.
This
Well,
podcast is on the West Coast, FYI.
Okay. Here's the problem. All
I
right.
like hustle, guys. I just got a place in Coney Island. It's fucking stupid.
Coney Island, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
it's sick, bro. It's fucking
That's
ridiculous.
awesome.
Well, my issue is the accent, and it either plays or it doesn't. So I'm happy with
So
where
we
I'm
gotta
at and
write-
how limited. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Right.
He's gonna
That's
play
a
us.
fucking nice Les Paul, dude.
Jesus.
we gotta write some shit.
Billy
Yeah.
Jack.
go.
Billy Jack will
Let's
pull
fucking
out
go.
his, and y'all can go to it.
Nice one.
Deadlock was. Oh, by the way, it was. I mean, it's always hot as hell in South Georgia. Y'all remember it being ice ass cold?
It was
It was
fucking
cold.
freezing.
It was cold.
It was
It was
Jesus.
cold.
That lake was
It was
ridiculous.
snowing. It was snowing.
It did. I think
It did one
snow
day. One day it snowed.
I was
remember.
talking to one of the guys that was playing background. He was from that island where the dam was, and I was like, "Man, is there any alligator?" He goes, "Yes, there's about a 13-foot gator that comes out." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well,
Yeah.
Alex, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the most densely populated body of water, alligator wise? That was a horrible way to say that, but-
ESPN said that it was the highest density of alligator population in the country per square mile. In that,
There it is.
Where
There
we
it
were.
is.
Where
I
we
was
were.
on the
Yeah.
phone. I was on the phone walking around the set away from everybody. And about 50 feet from me, I see this fucking thing on the rocks. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It was a snake about the thick as my fucking torso. This fucking thing was curled up on a rock, and later on, I was like, "Oh, it was not poisonous or anything." Fuck if I know. The thing was like the double size of my vehicle, my car. That thing was fucking long.
And
I'm standing on the phone. I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's a fucking snake." And I fucking bolted.
You know how many times I've jet skied and water skied and swam in that lake? But it's called, for the record, Lake Blackshear. And honestly, it gave such
a good
an
movie
iconic,
title.
and it gave such
It
a
is.
great. I would love. I mean, guys, we should seriously consider writing something and going back and doing it again.
What about who's got the rights to? Can we do? Oh, by the way, Douglas Matthews, Blaylock. We got
Blaylock. Yes.
Blaylock was a find at the end.
Blaylock, come on, man. I love it where like Pat was doing a scene with Doug, and Doug was like messing up the lines, and Pat, this is my bad impersonation, he'd be like, no, man, come on, hit me again, man, hit me again, Blaylock, hit me again, Blaylock. Let's go.
Well, Lorenzo here is the one who I believe talked Brittany into playing Agent Minningham and playing her first acting
she was my
role.
partner.
Yeah, and
you guys stormed the house at the beginning.
Right.
You guys stormed the house.
Does anybody
shoot
know
up the
that?
guys?
Does anybody know that when Bruce was doing the scene where he shot the two guys on the front porch, Brittany, I wish she'd come in and tell the story. He's waiting. She's locked in the house with Bruce while he's about to shoot the guys on the porch, and his damn jacket catches on fire. And he just keeps acting.
Bruce did?
Yes.
The jacket caught on fire?
The back of the jacket got caught on fire.
He stepped back and it caught on fire, and Brittany's putting it out when they say action, and he steps out with his he takes it off right when he steps out, and he's in that flannel, but his jacket catches on fire.
We can't get his jacket. How does his jacket get on fire?
He threw it on a lamp.
Yeah. He threw it on a lamp.
Yeah.
So
it was actually
we can't forget Eric, man.
Oh, Eric,
Eric, bro.
I said barbecue. Eric Barbecue.
Yo, Eric.
Yeah, man, I got IMDb so we don't forget anybody.
Yeah, let it rip.
So, Matt Marsden, amazing.
Yep. Amazing.
He was a last minute guy that came in and did an amazing fucking job. Michael Deverzone.
I remember him. He was actually really good.
I got something cool. Since I'm in Coney Island. His dad is the guy who scored his dad scored the Warriors.
Oh,
no way.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
His dad, dude.
Wow.
But Michael's super nice guy, did a great job.
Yeah.
Ava, Kelsey Rose was amazing.
Kelsey, that's what
Kelsey was awesome.
Did a couple things with us, actually.
Yeah.
American Siege too, right?
I will say Deadlock's rap party was pretty ape shit.
Yeah. That was fun too.
It was on Super Bowl, wasn't it? It was on the Super Bowl.
Keep going, Patrick. I've got a few anecdotes.
Tony Mesner.
Got a guy there named Jenkins.
Kelly Ryder, who did a great scene with Bruce.
Kelly has not only done amazing since Deadlock, which I think gave her start. Kelly has. Have y'all not know? I mean, give it up for
no,
Kelly.
she's always on.
She is on everything and everywhere.
She's a hustler, dude. She's a beast.
Sweet as
she
could
really
be.
held it down in that Bruce scene. She did
yeah.
amazing. Jared Wilkins, the
yes,
that's my boy, man.
He's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Tyler fought hard. Tyler fought very
I
hard
did.
for him to come in to do that scene, and he's gone on to do really interesting roles.
Yeah,
which guy was that?
That's on Arkansas.
Jenkins,
the meth head.
The guy with the mohawk
and Malkovich. He was in that.
Jamal Trullo.
Brandon,
you guys are talking over each other. I can't hear what you're saying. Which is the guy?
Bankins.
Jared Bankins. He played the methed out guy who was in the house where the brothers got killed, and then was on the boat talking to Muldoon's character.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a great actor.
I remember him. Yeah.
You put Jamal in the movie,
and Eric, of course. Eric is fucking awesome.
I'm saying shout out to Jamal. He played my partner.
Jamal's lines in that movie were awesome, man. I think
Jamal was fucking awesome, man.
My understanding
as a person and an actor.
Internet and how to connect.
Jamal was a great guy, great actor.
Yep.
Francis Cronin.
He actually did a great job.
That's Ed's buddy. He was
Jordan.
the cop that interviews Bruce, and he shoots them both in the head at the beginning.
They both were good.
Yeah.
Let me give a shout out. Does everybody remember Shep Dunn with the chainsaw gun?
Oh yeah,
yes, that's the guy I was thinking of. Yeah,
He's on the cover of the movie poster, man.
Yeah, he's got Patrick. He's got an M60, I think, with a damn chainsaw on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like a Mad Max character that somehow wound up in this universe, man.
You know what's crazy, man? Here's what's crazy. That, we made this movie, small movie, and, with Bruce Willis, and here we are back together, and mainly because Alex, wanted to get together, and it's this great idea. And I started this podcast, and he's like, you should do this, and he's going to do his own podcast, and I was like, this is crazy. The fact that this group of 6-7 people here are all in one room and still feeling really jazzed about, besides Lorenzo being pissed at me, but besides that, everybody's really happy. Everybody's not, I'm kidding. This is really happy, and you guys are so positive about everything. And I think you don't see studio movies doing this shit. This is the great thing.
Nah.
Yep. You know why?
No.
You know why? Because this movie could have failed. We only had 10 days. If we didn't all give 100% everybody every day, it would have been a shit show. So I think we were flying by the seat of our pants.
100%.
And so, miss one day, 10% of your movie is bad. Miss 2 days, 20% of you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody, anytime I walked into that tent that we had, that big white tent, and I would see Lorenzo sit there all day, be like, no.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today. Not today.
On the call sheet.
Here's the thing. Look, you say flying by the seat of our pants. I was like, what pants? Hell, I couldn't afford pants. We were just literally, I felt like we were all stripped naked as bears could be. But to your point, Patrick, listen, I actually think, and I genuinely believe this, I've seen this on sets now, and I'm speaking from no experience compared to a lot of you legends and guys like yourself have done it forever. But I'm a common person, an average American with a point of view that's as relevant as
16 movies in the last 3 years, but go ahead.
Well, I say that, and the only reason I
didn't hear the phone ring, but go ahead.
Humble heart. All right, Alex, go ahead.
I'll just see this mute button works right here. But what I'm saying, I as a common American watching this, because I still don't relate to being in the industry because it still feels so surreal. I still got a sense of wonder from you as the leader of it, because honestly, and I genuinely mean this, and this is what I'm saying, I took away from movies early. An entire experience of a movie to me, and we just experienced this, Tyler, with in Fortune Shadow and other movies, is the director and the lead actor set the tone for everyone's attitude about whether this is going to be fun and good or dog shit and miserable. If the lead actor doesn't believe and the director doesn't keep it fun, and you don't feel like he cares, you can start to see the crew go, why am I killing myself?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you came in like, oh, this isn't a payday, cheap, crappy Bruce Willis movie. We're gonna give your attitude, if I can just be honest, was, and I've actually described it this way, and I'm gonna continue to use it. And Tyler's heard me say this to crews 1,000 times. Forget the cameras we can afford. Forget the days, 5 days, 25 days, money, no money. When the camera starts rolling, nobody is stopping us all from giving Oscar level effort. That's on us. And you did it. And if you would have just come in on the other movies we've had, I'm not going to name names and say, but when the lead's like, yeah, it's payday, mailing it in, don't give a shit. The rest of the crew, they still give all their talent, but you can't possibly die for it. Well, you made people feel like, oh shit, I got to keep up with Patrick. I mean, is that fair, guys? That's the way I felt.
Absolutely.
No, hey, listen, that is a compliment, but here's the other half of the story. You could come in guns blazing and not get the response of people that don't. It's paydays for other people too.
That's very true.
Paycheck. If you're not with, right? If you're not with, if you're not getting a response and you don't feel that everybody's on board, like, sure, we had major obstacle on this, right? you know, all the way around making our days and everything, but people responded. Everybody on this and everybody that we mentioned and the crew. So it was good energy all the way around. And that, if I come in and I'm like, you know, take a car battery and shove it up my ass and I'm ready to, it doesn't mean other people are going to respond, you know? And we just got very lucky, I think, with this movie that everybody was excited, and all the way around it was good people that were showing up to make something special.
I agree.
You know,
that's why we're doing a podcast here. Like
it's that movie. It's this movie, guys, that made me, Patrick. It's this very movie.
Special experience for me, right? It was unique. Like
it's this very film that made me keep this crew together, isn't it, Tyler? We talked about it. Like, we have to keep this team, and we've tried to keep the magic. And I will tell you this: we just did Razor's Edge with James Franco and Tommy Lee Jones. Here, Sepher, here's another Workhorse Cinema advertisement. We had like 10 days to do 100.
Who's selling me? Who's selling me after this? Who's selling?
So we had 10 days to do 102 pages with Tommy Lee Jones and James Franco. And I mean, James looks at me and goes, "Is there any shot we're going to get this movie in the can?" And I go, "Absolutely." Tyler's over here running A, B, and C camera units. We're shooting all over town. And in 10 days, the same crew that did Deadlock, which is grown by maybe 15 or 20 hand-picked mercenaries that have the right attitude, that are having fun, that see it as art, that still enjoy showing up. And in comes Lorenzo, and he knows the drill. He comes in 100 miles an hour, turn it on 10. Everybody does the drill. And I mean, we just watched the first cut of what, admittedly, the 9,000 EPs and everybody involved is like, we don't expect
that man cut down there.
No, we can all reference that. Is when there's 9,000 EPs on a movie, you know the situation usually, right? And so
you ran out of money.
That's it. And so what I think that Deadlock did for us was teach us that those limitations are challenges, not things we should complain about. And so, I mean, it does get exhausting at times, but Tyler just put together with the director 21 minutes of some of the most compelling footage I've seen in one of these indies. And it was thought to be impossible. Deadlock was thought to be impossible. They almost gave up on it multiple times.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, there's a whole backstory on that thing of because we were supposed to do it in December. We were hunting for the reactor. And then the dam was found, and me and Jared are staying at the fucking TMG house. What was the TMG house, which was a house that they rented. And we literally just rewrote all the slug lines to the fucking, the dam, and just like ripping through it, FaceTiming with Brandon of like, can we make this work? Oh, I think so. Let's send it, And that whole thing just like, it was like laying the tracks in front of the train as it's coming down.
There's a whole story y'all don't even know then, and I want you to tell it in a positive way, Sepher. But I'm going to tell you, y'all have no idea. Steven Sepher came to the set with like his fist up, like basically.
No. Go ahead.
Just basically like
my point is fucking hot and ready to go.
My point is
that's why he was so on edge the entire time.
Yeah, don't take this the wrong way. I mean, you came feeling like you were going to be not welcome, and I hope we made you feel very welcome. And
this segues into what I want to say, and I think the industry is changing quite a bit now, and we have a nice group of people. If I never work with you again, I love you all no matter what. I hope we do some shit together, but the industry is changing. The star power is not what it used to be anymore, as you know. And we are here doing what we do. Everybody here, from Billy Jack all the way to even Lorenzo, we have our strengths, and there's really great things that everybody has going on. So just the fact that we're on this podcast together and talking, I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling a lot of love here. This is the power. The people who are not on this podcast are obviously not here for a reason. So to go to your point, dealing with you.
Wait. Sepher, listen to this. My girlfriend's off camera. Baby, didn't when you saw this movie, you were with another guy.
Right.
Did seeing Deadlock influence like our relationship?
I think it did. It's not something.
Oh, thank you,
All
baby.
this hot guy in
Those
the
are the
bowels
people
of the
that made it.
dam.
Man, I can remember on day
Look, my
zero.
girlfriend says we need a sequel.
I can remember on day zero thinking that this may not go down at all because there was a little cantankerousness over by the bar, and once it started fake slap fighting shit, I walked away. I said, I know this is gonna.
Oh, there was a wrestling match that went on playfully, and Patrick, on day one before you had to shoot, you got your forehead cut.
I turned around,
Accidentally.
Patrick.
Remember?
I turned around, and Patrick's bleeding down his forehead, man.
What happened? What happened?
You know, with our dear Jared, I did, you know, messing around. I went to do a single leg, and Jared had zippers all over his pants. So I did a single leg, like messing around, like, you know, it's the day before the first day of shooting.
I remember this.
So I do a single leg, and his zipper cuts my forehead. And thank God, I thought, here I am there, you know, ready to rock, you know, totally prepared. It's my first day with Bruce Willis movie the next day. And yeah, so I go for a single leg, and Jared's you know, I ran my forehead into Jared's zipper. So really stupid.
Good Lord, man.
Not advisable. I don't do slap fights now before the day before I start shooting movies.
Look, man, the reality is the pillars were Alex, you, Patrick, and obviously Miss. Where the fuck did Cox go? Oh, there he is, right there. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you guys were
Gotta give a shout out to Jared, right? Jared's
yeah, of course.
On a movie
You know,
like that, though, on a
wanna
movie
talk
like
shit
that,
about, you know, Jared is a homie. I've worked with him before over the
He
years.
directed the fucking movie.
He's the guy that fucking directed the movie. He brought me in on the movie, I'm sure. So thank you, Jared Cohn. And
literally, it's thank you to everybody, because I got to shout out to one of my favorite because I'm gonna tell you, he made that movie fun, and that is George Hunt, the PA. George kept it live 24/7. Y'all remember George?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about the road trip we took in the school bus to the brewery?
Yeah, baby, to the
I
liquor
remember that.
place.
That was
The
fun.
distillery, dude. Yeah.
So we went to the distillery. They gave everybody liquor. Hey, I got a surprise for you, Patrick. I think we're working on a little. I got the missus here. She's gonna pull a little picture out. So, Sepher, about that, when you were talking about a second ago about the industry, it is amazing that a lot of us have continued to do as much and work as much. And I've read some of your scripts. Fantastic writer. It is insanely difficult to get a movie made.
Yeah,
insanely difficult. And every movie is magic. I always tell people, you can't imagine when if you see me making a movie, there's 20 that didn't happen, that were close, fell apart. I mean, we've all been. How many times have you been like, no, I got something, and then you turn something down and call us back, and you're like, dude, my thing pushed. I need to totally.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with, and I'm not going to get into negativity here, but the problem is sometimes it's aligning with the right folks. Really, that's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you're complaining sometimes, Alex, about I'm doing all this, putting the entire thing together, I'm getting the least amount of money or equity in this thing. You know, without you, there would be no movie. And
but
you do what you got to do. Yeah, you make what you do. But the reason everybody's here right now, honestly, guys, is because we love to tell stories. That's the reality.
But
every one of you
telling this story together.
Come on.
Yes.
Hold on. Here we go. You ready, Patrick?
And everybody, it's like, I think of this movie as fondly as I think all of us do together. Whatever
that was happening during the table read.
Him and Jared Cole tussled and split his open.
Is that classic?
Oh my God, look at that. That was legit.
This is what I would say. This is what I would
like messing around. And
you are literally doing a rewrite while your head is pouring blood. So
and he's got zippers all over his legs like a parachute.
That is during the table read.
That's incredible.
That is unbelievable. Oh my God.
You need to get that picture. You need that picture, Patrick.
I'll show you my
Please send that to me.
We will do.
Thank you, Jared. Please wear sweats and Levi's next time.
But
No, no Michael Jackson pants, Thriller pants.
So I have to say, like
total Thriller pants.
Cox and I did a movie, our first movie together, which was Bus 657 Heist.
Yeah,
and that went pretty well, and that was a different type of vibe. It was 7 big stars on that movie, and it was pretty amazing. And Cox continued doing what he was doing. And when I found out that Cox was on this movie, and yes, it was an adversary situation, I was put in a very bad spot. And I decided to come anyway. And when I realized Cox was there, oh, okay, Cox is here. That's good, And then so I just kind of felt him out when I got to the set. I'm like, all right, yeah, Cox.
What do you mean by that? How did you fill him up?
Yeah, how exactly did you fill him up? Let's
How
see
did
your
that
hand.
work?
It was a lot of feeling and touching.
What kind of object
Felt.
did you have?
Was it up here or was it down there? What kind of? What
Well,
kind
it was
he touched the crumb. The crumb? No, I'm kidding. No, I think he was, he didn't know. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Steven, but I mean, I know there was something with the screenplay and all that, and that was between you and the powers that be, that other company we know who are, we know that person up in the 51st state up there. Sorry for anybody that's Canadian.
is that the large? Is that the large 51st state or the small 51st state?
It's very big, very large.
Yeah, Patrick. You know how I always know if my crew's having fun on the movie? They're all speaking in Russian.
That's right, baby.
Do it, Tyler. Do it.
Shout out to
Very nice.
Shout out to fucking Becox, 110 setups in one day.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even touched on that.
This is why
I love Becox.
Because I
love
had the good team. I had a good team, man. I mean, it's like, look,
you can get in. Just sit in. Brittany's gonna join us.
You guys remember?
Flip the fucking phone, bro. Flip the phone.
Well, I want to show why we all love Patrick. This is him loving on our son Fox.
Oh, look at him.
Nice.
Oh, my God.
With Bobby Landon's wig on.
Beautiful.
So Brittany was that was her first real movie was there,
Hey,
and
Britt, lots of love.
What's
Love you
up,
guys.
Hey, Brittany,
Thank you.
Brittany, I have a question for you, Brittany.
Thank you for sewing my head back together.
Watch this. Brittany, was I part of your birthday reel or was I cut out?
No, you totally were. You were totally in it. I cried from start to finish. It was 35 minutes long of nonstop people that love me. I didn't even occur to me that I mattered to them, which was so touching that all these people took time out of their day to wish me happy birthday. It was definitely.
When was your birthday, Brittany?
It was great.
I
turned 21.
It's like
which
October,
was
right?
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
It was November.
Brittany, I missed it because
I didn't cast you in.
After we said wrap, I'm yesterday's mashed potatoes. I haven't spoken to anybody, but I'm so happy to see my dear friends.
Patrick said that his current
loving is so short and forgetting is so long.
Patrick, she didn't hear that
I love you all.
It's a haiku. I mean,
she wasn't in here when you said his girlfriend actually fell for him because of the movie Deadlock and his performance.
Sweet.
I'm totally joking.
Watch. And if you didn't sew my head back together, she might not have,
Is there a scar? Is there a scar is the question.
No scar. No scar.
Pretty good at my job, man.
But I got this. So maybe.
Oh, Lord.
But you guys, I have a 5:29, so I have 3 minutes.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
5:30, I gotta go. But you know what?
Why don't you tell us what it is?
Steven.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why don't you just tell us what you got going on, man? Because we're gonna do this again. Why don't you just tell us what's what's going on for you next, and then you can bounce and we'll wrap up.
Right now is Riff Raff in the theaters, which I'm not acting in, but I produced. Is Jennifer Coolidge, Bill Murray, Pete Davidson, Ed Harris. Did I see
Gabrielle Union?
Gabrielle Union. That's now.
That sounds sick, dude.
That was a good script.
Talk about how crazy this business is. B. Cox knows the story of this. Comeback Trail with Robert De Niro
Because
and Tommy Lee Jones and Morgan Freeman that we shot in 2019, you could finally see, streaming on all streaming platforms, tied up in litigation. The pandemic hit that up, but still swinging. And, Deadlock plays, I'll just say it. It's like, we're here talking for a reason. I don't know what it is, but we had an energy with this movie, and I don't know why. And maybe if it was a nuclear reactor, we wouldn't be talking. But when
That's right. That's what it was. The damn dam. That's what did it. The damn dam.
Damn. When we went to the hydro electrical plant and meeting all of you, B-Jack, Lorenzo, we knew each other before, but Tucker, B. Cox, we became close. Steven and Alex, our captain. I mean, it was just something special about it. And
well, Patrick, before you go, let me say thank you.
Maybe like the next time, maybe you do 16 more movies and fucking call me again. It'd be great.
Patrick, I just want to say before you bounce, I do again. That thing that was real. You came in with leadership and made it fun. You made it fun. Fun's all that matters. So
yeah, well,
and you did a great job. You did a great job. You were awesome in the movie, man.
No, man, it was all the way around good people, like very special, unique collision of personalities, which we all were on this thing, and then you have to get lucky,
Oh, you do. And Tarantino has to watch it.
Tarantino watched it and
always
texted me while I was on mushrooms. Thank you, God.
Patrick, before you go, we have somebody in common. I don't think I ever told you. Tori Mel. Remember Tori?
Oh, dude, come on. Are you kidding?
Good friends of mine, and then Ahmed and everybody. So it's funny. You're part of that circle.
Who I'm bouncing to go talk to is Ahmed. It's my brother.
Really? That's crazy, bro.
Right.
Such a small world.
That afterwards. Tori is the funniest person I've ever met in my life.
We love you, Patrick.
Love you guys all.
We love you.
Thanks, Pat.
Everybody,
love you, brother.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you very much.
Give me some more fucking voicemails, please.
Yeah,
what? I got him, baby.
Nah, but this is such a good group. Let's fucking come on. Let's do something. The fuck,
yeah, bro. Let's go.
I love you guys.
Yo, Steve, you got fucking Deadlock? I mean, do you have? You had to give up the rights?
Yeah. No, I got no. I don't have the rights anymore. It's done. No.
He bounces.
Why
don't we just do reactor? Why don't we just do reactor
in 30 seconds?
We'll see.
Why don't we do reactor at the same damn?
Yeah, let's do
call
the
it a
original
nuclear
one.
power
We'll do the same shit in a reactor.
Yeah, just do it fucking better.
He's gonna have to do an Irish goodbye.
How about we do it sanitation? We do it in a sanitation.
It's dirty work part 2. With deadly work, deadly lock work. We'll come up with it. Look at this is what we're gonna talk about when you leave. Cox's massive day.
What is that?
That's our fucking day, bro.
That's the day. There was like, I don't know how many scenes on there.
Oh, that's right. I remember
we
that.
knocked them all out.
That's the call
That's
sheet,
gotta
bro.
be some kind of record, man.
That was the call sheet. That was insane. I mean, no, you can't. I mean,
All right, dude,
that was insane.
they're calling me for Ahmed's thing. I love you all. Let's do it again soon. And even
Bro,
if it's
you're
just on the
awesome.
personal, let's please stay in touch. I love you guys.
Definitely.
Love you, bro.
Bye, guys.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Muldoon, everybody.
Muldoon, yeah. No, that movie he just did with Bill Murray. He actually did give me that script. I read it. It's really good. We were trying to. I had a meeting, but they ended up actually they got the guy who shot White Lotus. So I mean, whatever. I understand. So, but it's a really good script, and it's a good. I'm glad it actually finally got out there. So
There's the burn jacket, guys. It caught on fire.
Do you know they gave me that jacket? I still have that jacket.
That's right.
Because I needed a jacket, so I put a piece of electrical tape on it. It was one of Bruce's buddies. I think it's Brad. I think his buddy Brad from Montana or Idaho. That he brought with him.
Isn't it
and
great?
He gave it to me.
Stealing props from movies and keeping the wardrobe and shit's like the best.
I still have that jacket, man. And everybody asked me, why is there a piece of tape on the back? As I haven't taken it off. And it's a good story. So yeah, I just tell that story. But
I have to say, man, go ahead.
No, what about the scene, we were talking about, like the one between you and Patrick? Remember when we ran out of light? We shot Patrick's side, and then
Mm-hmm.
we had to shoot your side, and then somebody was like, "Oh no, we
Well,
can't. We're gonna
yeah,
go into
yeah.
overtime
That
or
that was
something
a
like
that was a
that."
that was a personal jab. They're trying to take me out of the movie, and I appreciate you,
Well,
coming through
yeah, it
and
wasn't anybody on this thing, but it was just like, the powers that be. But the fact is that we got it done. It was cool. And
amazing.
shot to Tyler as well, is like, this is only my second time working with him, but I was just starting to designate things like, hey man, can you go get a shot of this? Hey man, can you go get a shot of this? That was the start of what our collaboration was. And
Oh yeah.
just to be a person in his life. And I'm grateful for his friendship beyond measure, but I'm also grateful for the fact that, like, I had some inkling of something to help get his career going. But and then to work with Lorenzo again, because Lorenzo and I had a mutual friend that from Boston who's a music video director, and to have Lorenzo come back into my life, and then
We do the
in
Five
other
Finger
ways
Death
as
Punch
well,
video together. Five
you
Finger Death
know,
Punch.
and then
Lorenzo, I gotta say, I'm so impressed with how much shit Lorenzo's into and what he does in his hustle.
man,
Like,
he's
and
got a great
I
hustle,
can't
man.
live. I can't start my day without one of your get after it. Do you? Don't
Covered
fucking
in sweat,
stop.
covered in
Rock
sweat.
and roll.
I love.
Murder everybody. I
Oh
need that
yeah.
in my veins like
I
Rocky
love
Balboa every day.
I love the one that he says something about my silence is not my weakness, and you're a motherfucker. Fuck you.
Boy,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
there.
no,
I'll tell
don't
you
take
this.
my kindness as weakness, because when
Yep.
you are unkind, weakness is what you will not remember me by. That's
This
Al
is
Capone.
this is what I genuinely believe. I think every one of y'all is real, but I think this statement is fair. There ain't a more real motherfucker in this business than Lorenzo. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's
100%.
And
Listen,
God,
Lorenzo. Condolences to your dad. You're a fucking amazing
oh
son.
yeah,
No
You're
kidding.
amazing. I lived through you for a while because my dad has been gone since about 10 plus years, and I was like, wow, this guy's a really good son, and he's just really taking care of his dad.
he's
So
amazing.
you have done some really good work, and good for you, man. Like really good for you, and
Can I tell you a
heartfelt
positive?
condolences.
Can I say a funny thing to uplift about your father? To this day, if I get around any bread, I do that. Dad, with the bread, you got enough bread? You think you got enough bread, Dad? And
He
the
had to
whole
empty
cart
out
was
the
bread.
freezer, man. He had so much bread left over because his teeth started falling out, man. And he didn't want to fucking tell me I can't eat the bread no more. So I was trying to buy him bread like 2 months ago. And he was like, no, I don't need it no more. And I'm like, yeah, because you got no teeth, man. I felt so fucking bad.
Oh man.
It was just kind of falling apart, man. It's more tough watching them get old, man. But I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
suffer anymore, bro. Yeah, he was
But
suffering.
Yeah.
anyway, man, we don't want to, we don't want to get the tears going, but
Ah,
it's
he's
touching to watch how close
he's
you were
pumped,
with him.
bro. He's pumped, man. He's with my mom. I put them together. You know what I
But
mean?
he's
Hell
dancing,
yeah.
man. He's dancing, having a cocktail, dude. He's with my pops and Steven's pops,
Having a good
man. So
time, man.
that's the way I look at it.
My mom is the only person in my family group who ever wanted me to be any kind of actor or performer. She loved movies, and on the day she died, I had my first movie premiere ever, and I went to it. I left her funeral early to go to it, and somebody said in my family, "How heartless was that?" And I said, "Are you kidding?" I gave her the speech on the stage of her funeral, and she essentially told me, "Why aren't you where you should be? You can't do anything for me here. Like that's if you go do that." So it was like this, it's a strange thing for me. She never got to see me do one acting scene that I recall, but it all makes you stronger, and it makes you appreciate. My kids. There's nothing. My kids. I did. My Lord, I did A Day to Die, this Bruce Willis movie. But listen, I love everybody. I love every movie we do. So I think it's fair to say we're never talking shit about our movies when we're saying they're not good or they're not perfect. We're acknowledging we don't have the resources of the Russo brothers and the studios. So you do what you can with what you have, but unfairly, it's measured against Die Hard and all this stuff. But my son loves my movies, and all his favorite movies are my movies, even if I'm in them for 1 second. And that's why you do this stuff. You get the high when you hear action. You enjoy creating with other people, the brothers and family and sisters we create. Some people find love, Mike and Ava, and it's given us Bo. Like, how can you hate on a movie like Deadlock? Shit, my whole life's built off Deadlock now.
Yep. Well, I mean, I think we all like making movies more than we like watching them anyway.
Oh,
so it's,
yeah.
it's like no matter what, it's, whatever the final product is, a lot of the time that's out of all of our control anyway.
Yeah.
So really it's like the being with the homies and making the art and being with each other is the best part of it. And we get to do it for a job. That's what's blows my mind.
As long as you're sleeping and eating indoors, doing what you love, how the fuck are you losing?
Yep.
100%, man.
I put my dad
100%.
in this fucking, I'm gonna hang shit, but I put my dad in this movie, bro. He's got a scene, bro. He's got dad's in Jersey bread, bro. Like,
I love it. I love it.
And I put Ava.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Immortalized.
Lorenzo, I didn't get a call on that.
Yeah, because I wasn't the director, bro. I had to have people lead, bro. Like I would, what am I gonna do?
Listen, I'm only kidding. You guys are awesome. I love Lorenzo. I love his hustle. I love Alex's hustle. I have tremendous.
Bro, we all hustle.
Tremendous respect for fucking Cox. I think Cox is a brother from another mother.
Can I just stop
you? Motherfucking Jack.
Hold on.
Man, smoke cigarettes all the time.
Steven ain't even bringing up that, like, guys, I wanted to do his podcast because he's actually really damn good at this. And I really enjoy his podcast. I really do. He's
a fucking writer. He should be.
Yeah, he's got a way of engaging and I mean, like, I see him get people to talk. Like, it's easy to get me to talk, but I see him make people talk that don't talk. Like, Cox ain't a chatterbox, and he had Cox talking for an hour plus.
Yeah.
So, I mean kudos
to you guys.
Yeah, kudos to you.
Thank you. No, I'm gonna listen. You guys, the reason I started doing this podcast is because
the name of the podcast.
Oh my God! Get the fuck off the podcast. Let's get this rid of this fucking.
What's the name?
What is it? The immigrant film?
It's the immigrant storyteller, for fuck's sake.
Immigrant storyteller.
Oh, I don't listen.
I always want to call it the immigrant filmmaker, but it's
guy.
the immigrant storyteller.
It's an immigrant story. So the reason I started this podcast is because of all the COVID thing was okay, then the strike, and then I wrote a script, and then I wrote a novel based on that script, and I'm like, I got to do this. So I want to talk to people, get connected, and I wanted to create a community, and this is the prime example of that community. And Alex was like gong ho. He was like, "Let's do a podcast. Let's do a podcast." I'm like, "Fuck it, let's do a podcast," and we did. And I've done many other podcasts, and there's more coming, and that's why I started it. It's not because I started it because there needs to be some sanity in our lives as artists. It can't just be, let me wait for this Joe Schmo to call me so I can hopefully have a career. It doesn't work that way. You have to be proactive. And to that point, Lorenzo is very proactive. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, this guy's here. And, oh, wow, he's there. Oh, wow, he's doing this. It's great, and I'm sure he's got a lot of haters, but I'm not one of them. It's a community. Look, guys, we just keep pushing, keep grinding, keep moving, and keep doing what we do. And the fact that we managed to get all of us on this podcast now, and to do this, and I have to give credit to Alex. He's a persistent fucking dude, and he's like, let's do it, let's do it, let's come on, let's do it. I'm like, all right.
Let's do it yesterday. Let's do it now. Why aren't you waiting?
Come on, man.
But this was great. Listen, I think we should, if there's anything else we need to discuss, please.
And I heard an Alex impression. Tyler, was that you? Let's hear it.
No, that was Brandon, dude.
Let's hear it, Cop. Let's hear it. Do it again.
All right, guys, come on now. We got to get it going now. I mean, we got Bruce Willis, we got Tyler, we got Steve.
Listen,
Listen, come on now.
We should let me copy and paste this link to Bruce and see if he'll jump on it.
Exactly.
We should have Mike. Why didn't you get Mike on this?
Well, I was gonna send it to Mike and have him pop on and surprise him. Lorenzo, you should send it and have him pop on for 5 seconds. Be like, Mike, jump on this Zoom real quick. I do want to say something while we're waiting. We'll give Mike like 3 seconds, and immediately I'll just end it and get off. Listen, we all love Mike. Mike has righted the ship and sort of herded the cats, right? Because we're all these crazy artists, and somehow when he's married, had a kid, kept a lot of our careers afloat, saved a lot of things that were falling apart. He's often the voice of reason. God knows what he has to put up with me. I mean, Tyler, you can imagine how much shit I put him through every day. But listen, this business is so crazy, and I understand why you started the podcast, because you start a couple of things. Why not be proactive? The new technology is available, and the starvation of an artist when you want to work but you just can't, because I don't have a skill like running a camera. Like Cox can probably direct, act, do it all. I know Tyler can play guitar. He can play harmonica. He can play a kazoo.
He can do it all too, man. He's doing it.
Right. Lorenzo does everything. I mean, he's got Persian scents going on in Dubai and other color countries, and he's got clothing lines, exactly. And he's got record deals.
I got comic books.
That's right. He does have comic music.
Right, he's writing comic books. He's on
I got
TV.
motherfucking IP, bro. I got 30 titles, bro. I got a motherfucking
clothing line.
Golden. I got motherfucking goddamn fucking record label now.
That's my point. Everybody, and so you're such a great. To me, while you're a great actor, you're a great director, all those things. Like you really see yourself in a lot of ways as a scalpel. Like you're like a special. Like you can see yourself as a writer first. The way I see myself as like an actor first, and then I've had to learn to produce. If I could give up producing tomorrow, I would. I know some probably think I wouldn't, but I would. And Billy Jack's got all these skills. But the obstacles, I'd like to just briefly hit on this, because the next one probably won't be a deadlock. We could actually just do some filmmaking, and maybe we can sort of finish on this, and then we can pick it up next time, which is like storytellers and story makers hour. The industry is so crazy, and the shit that we go through and the people we deal with are so full of shit in lots of good ways and bad ways. Some of the craziest turds and fuckers we work with are the most interesting people. Like, I'm also horrified by them and fascinated with how they get shit done. I was once talking to a producer, and for anybody watching and y'all that think I talk a lot, I talked to a producer that talked so long on the phone that I put him on mute for 30 minutes, and while Billy Jack was there, I randomly unmuted and said, I like to eat breakfast off an alligator's back, and then hung up, and he said, yeah, that's actually really interesting. And he just kept right on going.
Muted. Yeah, you muted. You didn't hang up.
Yeah, I just said it, and I
Terry, I'm going to say something crazy, man. Watch this guy. It won't even phase him. And it did not, man. He was talk.
Like an hour. Wow. And then we've never made a movie together. And this guy calls me every 2 weeks like we're going to make 10 movies. And I know y'all have these relationships that it's a call every month, it's an email, and nothing ever happens. And then you got the other guy who everything happens like this. Hey, Cox, can you get on a flight tomorrow? We're shooting. And certain phone calls, you're like, I got to answer this call, because it's either going to be interesting or it's going to be real. And then there's sometimes those calls you go, fuck it, I'm down for just the craziness for about 10 minutes.
Always.
I'll take the call. But isn't this a fair statement? You really can't just write anybody off in this business. You really can't, because you never know how hungry and desperate you're going to get.
No matter how many books you write about your filmmaking process.
That's right. There you go. But I mean, I've heard people say this before, and some of us have said it. I'll never work with that fucking guy again. Every one of us sees us on set with that same guy again a year later, and you go, what the fuck? And you go, bro, Bill's come in. Daddy got to work.
Yeah.
Daddy got to work.
Brought to you by Horseshoe Cinema. I'm just kidding.
Horseshoe Cinema. I feel like that. I feel like I got a horseshoe up my ass, as lucky as I've been over the last 6 years, because these are
workhorse cinema.
Work whore? What is it?
Working whore cinema.
Working whore. Working
whore cinema. Welcome to
cinema.
If you saw some of the paychecks we get for some of all this work, you feel like you're whoring yourself out. That's for sure.
All right, Jets, go ahead. We gotta wrap up in like a couple of minutes here. So go ahead.
Sure. So is there anybody in particular?
Turnbuckle is coming in. Okay, so 2 minutes. Okay, Turnbuckle is coming in. Your boy. Who's Turnbuckle?
Get Mike.
All right, here we go.
There it is.
Did you guys get Donovan on?
We hope.
I hope.
Hold on. It's Turnbuckle.
You better hurry. We'll get back. Sepher, you got to give him a few seconds. You got to extend.
There he is. He came on.
He came on and he's like, "Oh my god, not these guys."
There's Bo, bro. We're talking about Bo.
Yeah.
Where's
Ava.
Bo?
Look at you, man.
Ava, you got Ava. There she is. Bo.
There's Ava too.
Wow.
What's up? What's up?
Ava.
Are you aware of what you're on right now?
I just saw that it's a Deadlock.
You're on a Deadlock reunion podcast, so you got to bring Ava over here. It's being taped already, so don't say anything crazy.
Oh,
We've
boy.
already said it all.
Lots of kudos to both of you, Mike. No
Yes.
kidding. Especially to Ava and coming in to be an administrative person and then taking the lead role. It was awesome. Did a great job.
Exactly.
Well, we wanted to bring
You're in my
you
ear,
on
so she's not
briefly.
hearing this.
Yeah, we wanted to bring you on. We wanted to bring you on briefly because one of the stories we told was how important Deadlock was to our careers, and I think you are the only person that probably has a child because of Deadlock.
I guess that's fair to say, for sure.
Yeah. We had Patrick Muldoon on earlier, and we talked about all the different stories and all the crazy things that happened, so we don't have to recant it. But we want to tell you how much we appreciate and love how you sort of structured it all for us and took us in a crazy way and sort of, helped us all. We came out of that and did a lot more in a lot of ways because of you. And we just thought it was a very neat story that you and Ava got together. So if there's any way you'd like to tell me how great I am, or
No, Mike, we want to touch on this. The 16 movies that he did, Alex and yourself did that didn't call fucking Stephen of Muldoon for any of the work is what we were talking about, because he kept bragging about how many movies he's done since Deadlock. And Patrick was like, "Hey, thanks for the fucking call, bro. I was so fucking..." And Sepher too.
That's okay. I'm a giver. Go ahead.
It's amazing how many movies you can make and have such little control over most of them.
None of them.
Yeah.
But again, to the point, we all met. We all fucking have a special bond. We all have a special bond, and it's like uniquely, different from each other. And we together can take over Hollywood if we were smart and not greedy, and know that you're not doing this for the money. We do it because we love it, but we do know that we have to eat and sleep indoors, and we got to feed Bo. And I'm about to have a baby myself when. We're working on it. She's in there.
Oh, I thought you were announcing something there. Right? You just
I don't know. I don't think so. Hopefully, but we work.
That's a great reveal, Steve.
We're working on it, but
casually at the end of the Deadlock podcast, just I'm fucking pregnant.
Fucking baby.
Tyler and Sam met Denise. Mike, are you back in New York?
No, we were going to actually go back today, but we pushed it off because the weather was shitty, so we're driving back Saturday.
Can we
together? I'll be back in. I'm leaving for LA on Wednesday, but I'm here till Wednesday. You guys,
We'll be around for a bit.
Can we do a thing at the end here and wrap it up and just, Sepher, how do you want to end it? I'd kind of like to say a project that maybe each of us want to do and consider each other for. Do you have something you think we could all do together?
Well, God, there's many things that we can do. We have about 7 screenplays going, but I think if your system works with the movies that you're doing, first of all, I can spit out a script that's really, really good. The problem here right now with the business is no longer the 2 days movie star thing is working, and shitty scripts don't work. You need a really good story and really good script. And then the issue, as Mike knows and everybody else knows on this thing, is that how do you package it and how can you afford to make the movie so you still see a profit? That's really what it comes down to. And I think the agents and the managers we're not talking about the guys who are, you saw at the Oscars. We're talking about the people who still make independent films. And the paychecks they're asking is just not rational anymore. It doesn't make any sense. It has to change. And whether they're like it or not.
They're asking for more than the movie's actually worth.
Yeah.
Just their pay. You can't even make the fucking movie. Like, if they want $2 million, you can't. The movie's not even worth $1 million. It's like,
no.
It's
So I
brutal.
think that's what it is. But I think Alex, since you're the ringleader in Georgia with your team, I think what we should do is circle back and find something that we can do. Yeah, I have a couple of things going. We just got distribution on our domestic finally, and it's going to be with a good company. I'll let it know when the time is right. And it took forever, man. It took forever. We shot this movie 2 years ago. We edited it for a while. There was a lot of issues along the way. But we got it done, and then Lorenzo saw it. We got into 5 fucking film festivals. Thank you. We got into 5 fucking film festivals. It's a crime action thriller. When does that happen? So it's possible, but
and you were really good in it too.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Really good. You're good as a detective. You should stay in that lane. You definitely rock it right.
Well, thank you. And if Alex decides to hire me for one of his movies, that'd be nice.
Better as Gator, though. I think you're
better. No. Gator
you
was
play
great.
Gator in every movie we do.
No, but listen, the bottom line.
Gator, boy.
The bottom line is this: is that we can definitely do something that starts with a really good screenplay and a game plan, and then attaching star power, and the money will be there. So the answer is yes, there's something to do. But I think, from my part, I'm gonna thank you everyone to being on this podcast. Mike, I gave him the friggin' links. Blame your partner. I don't know what's going on.
I sent it to you, so it doesn't matter. I don't gotta hear nothing. I don't want to get no trouble.
Lorenzo asked me to pop on this thing 4 minutes ago, and he literally said it's a Zoom. Pop on. I just thought where everyone was bullshitting. I had no idea there was any recording going on or anything else.
we had Patrick Muldoon for a while, and it makes the setup strange. And then the minute he left, I was like, I want to slap this on Mike when he's not expecting it. I was waiting. I was just gonna drop it on because I want to tell you a lot about what we're doing, which I would love to drop on the air, but really can't. And Mike's got a big project may go in Arkansas. We'd like to drop on the air, but can't. And Tyler just shot a bunch of stuff that we can talk about next time. And Lorenzo's got a project that we can all do in a prison. If we can just listen, I love all you guys, and Deadlock was the catalyst that kind of set us the avalanche and the snowball rolling down the hill. So
listen, you guys. Amazing, Mike. It's really good to see you. And I was telling Lorenzo,
I got a fucking alarm going off in the new fancy building, but fuck it, I can show you the new place. It's sick. Look.
Can't hear it. Nice.
Little Bo.
Hi. Hey, Bo.
Very nice.
Oh, there he is. Oh, that's cool.
Looks great, Lorenzo. Always like people.
Lorenzo, is that your place in LA or?
This is the new place in Coney Island.
Sepher, do you want to quit recording? And we'll keep talking?
Okay. So here it is. I'm gonna cut it off now. Say goodbye, people. Thank you so much for your time and efforts.
Fantastic,
Steven,
guys.
appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, boys.